All right, today we're going to dive into a totally new way of building software. It's this wild idea that starts with a really clever concept from one of the top minds in AI, and then scales it up into something that might just fundamentally change how all of us create technology. So, to really get where we're headed, you have to start with this vision from Karpathy. He's painting a picture of the future, and not a distant one, where the cutting-edge AI research isn't being done by people, or meat computers as he calls us, but by swarms of autonomous AI agents. It sounds like straight-up sci-fi, but it all starts with a simple pattern he calls auto-research. So what exactly is auto-research? Well, the idea is actually brilliantly simple. You give an AI agent a chunk of code and a goal, and you just let it go. It'll try making a change, measure if that change actually improved things, and if it did, it keeps it. If not, it just throws it out and tries again. Imagine a researcher that literally never sleeps, never gets tired, working 24/7 to make your code better. And here's how that loop actually works. The agent gets its orders, its directive. It plans a little modification, runs the code, and then checks the result. Was it better? Great, commit the change. Was it worse? No problem, revert back. And then it just does it again, and again, and again. This simple loop is the engine that drives this whole autonomous improvement. Okay, but here's the million-dollar question, right? Giving a powerful AI the keys to your entire code base with zero supervision? I mean, that sounds a little risky, doesn't it? What really happens when you let this powerful autonomous loop just run wild, with no guardrails at all? Well, we don't have to guess. The team at FutureSpeak.AI actually ran the experiments, and the data, it speaks for itself. The ungoverned agents, just running that raw auto-research loop, they crashed in over half of their runs. That's a 56% failure rate, but the agents that had some governance, their crash rate was chopped down to just 22%. A massive difference. And that really gets to the heart of the problem. Without any structure, these powerful agents don't just fail every now and then. They create total chaos. They stack up errors, they degrade the very system they're trying to improve, and eventually they just break everything. So yeah, that raw power is cool, but it's also incredibly unstable. So if raw autonomy is just too chaotic to work, how do you harness all that power? Well, you don't do it with suggestions or simple guidelines. You enforce safety with something way, way stronger, pure mathematics. And that solution is this framework they call Asimov's clause. Now that C is super important. It stands for cryptographic. This isn't just some clever name. It takes the philosophical idea behind Isaac Asimov's famous 3 laws of robotics and forges it into a rigid, verifiable, and mathematically enforceable set of rules. And this slide really shows you why this is such a game changer. On the left, you've got the old way, prompt-based safety. It's basically just a suggestion that an AI can be tricked into ignoring or jailbreaking. But on the right, you have cryptographic safety. This isn't a suggestion. It's a mathematical proof signed right into the agent's core. It's not a rule that can be broken. It's a law that is mathematically impossible to break. So what are these laws? They're actually pretty intuitive, and they create a very clear pecking order. Law number 1, don't harm people. Simple. Law number 2, obey your human user, unless it would violate that first law. And law number 3, protect yourself. Keep your own code safe, but never, ever at the expense of the first 2 laws. It's tamper evident too, so if anyone messes with this hierarchy, the agent just shuts down. So you put all of that together, Karpathy's auto-research concept, a whole swarm of specialized agents, all wrapped in the unbreakable safety of Asimov's laws, and what do you get? You get Asimov's mind. Right now, it's a plugin for Claude Code that brings all of this to life. Okay, but this is where the whole story just explodes in scale. We're not just talking about a slightly better coding assistant here. This isn't about one agent improving one file. This is about connecting every single developer into a massive collective intelligence. And it all kicks off with one developer and just one simple command. Let's say a programmer needs a new feature, maybe a retry mechanism for a network request. Instead of hitting Google, they just go into their editor and type /discover. You type that one word and bam, this whole autonomous pipeline just fires up. An agent starts searching all of GitHub, finding potential solutions. It then safety scans them, gives them a trust score, adapts the best one to fit the current project, integrates it, runs tests to make sure it works, and then commits it. And it does all of this with full attribution completely on its own. But here is the absolute magic of the whole system. That action doesn't just help that one developer. It connects them and their discovery to a much larger network, a federation. Now, this federation isn't some big central server owned by a company. It's a peer-to-peer network. Think of it less like a corporate mothership and more like a web of agents all talking directly to each other, cooperating and sharing what they learn without anyone in the middle. And this is what they call the hive mind effect. It's genius. When one developer's agent finds and vets a great piece of code, that knowledge, the safety score, the trust rating, gets committed right back into the code repository. So the next developer who uses that code instantly gets the benefit. The discovery spread through Git, basically turning the entire open source community into a self-improving collective brain. And that's exactly why the creators are so clear about their mission. They say they're not just building another tool to help you code a little faster, they are fundamentally rebuilding the entire open source development loop from the ground up, making it collaborative and intelligent at a machine scale. So let's just stop and think about what this really means for a second. This model completely flips the current tech power structure on its head. Right now, power is concentrated with big capital, with the huge corporations that build these tools. This system shifts that power to the decentralized community of developers. The community itself becomes the engine of improvement, creating this incredible feedback loop outside the traditional corporate control. And believe it or not, this incredible plugin, it's just the beginning. The ultimate vision here goes way beyond just writing better code. It's about building a future where you, the user, are in complete and total control of your data and your digital life. The team at FutureSpeak.AI has been really clear that while this starts out as a plugin for Claude Code, that's just a stepping stone. The real end goal is to remove that dependency entirely and move towards a truly sovereign architecture. So what does that sovereign future actually look like in practice? It means AI that runs on your machine, not some server in the cloud. It means your data lives in a heavily encrypted vault that only you hold the keys to. It means zero telemetry, no data collection phoning home to a corporation. And if you ever do need to use a cloud service, a privacy shield anonymizes everything before it ever leaves your computer. The promise couldn't be clearer, and it's absolute. Your data, your machine, your rules. No exceptions, period. And this isn't just a vague idea, it's the North Star they're continually tracking toward until it's reality. And all of this leaves us with this really powerful question to think about. In a world where development is supercharged by a safe, decentralized hive mind, and where every user has total sovereignty over their own data, what becomes possible? What will we all build when the power to create is truly and safely in everyone's hands?